Hello, hello, and welcome to New World Aeternum Weekly, episode 27. Looking forward to May. Today is April 24th, 2022. I am your host, Kai Zen, and I am enjoying a Boulevard Brewing Company Whiskey Barrel Stout Barrel Aged. This shit is delicious. So I hope that you're enjoying something as well. And with me, I know we got some people enjoying some stuff. Let's start off with, how about we start off with WOLFDRAGON. Say hello to the beautiful people, Wolf.
Hello, everyone. Thanks you for joining us today. I am drinking Sapporo beer because it is far too early in the day for me to go to 6 and 20 whiskey. That'll be a tonight thing. And I think Kai needs to hit the B-roll button.
I've already done that about a minute ago. It's behind on the thing, so you'll see it. All right. And we also have Seaman Second Class, Trekafik, a.k.a. Swordsmith. Say hello to the beautiful people, Sword.
Everyone, and this morning I'm drinking my personal mix of Diet Coke and vanilla peach flavoring. Rather interesting combo.
Very nice, very bougie. I get it. All right. And we also have returning to the land of Aeternum. We got the Don. We got the Swede from Brooklyn, who is now the Swede from Sweden. Say hello to the beautiful people, KONTROLLDON.
Hello, people. I'm back, and hey, it feels good to be back. I've had an awesome day, done some fun thing in Aeternum, which we might talk about later. And I'm sipping on a tiny glass of cab because it's almost sleeping time here. So nice to be back.
Hell yeah. Well, that's the next segment. The next segment is always, we say hi to the beautiful people, and then we start in on what we've done this week in New World. So why don't you kick it off as you've just returned to New World?
Okay, I just returned today, actually. Installed the game last night, and I was way too sleepy, so I just launched it, saw everything was working, and today, me, Kai, Brittany, Datron, and Swordsmith, or the man with many names, we launched a few small expeditions. So I managed to do the Siren, Les, and the Genesis, which has been on my bucket list for a while, like for the last 7 months, because it was 7 months since I started the game the last time. So it's nice to be back. I like the new changes. There's some great new game mechanics. And I really enjoyed today, Kai.
Absolutely. Sword, what you been up to this week?
I've been enjoying the 625 life and starting to work up my alternate builds, as well as I finally have a Dex tanking build, or a con tanking build with Dex secondary put together, ready to go at some point. It's not gear scored up, of course, but just in case.
Okay. Right on. Wolf, what you been up to this week?
Oh, I've been having all kinds of fun. I have been working on getting my tanking stuff up to snuff so that I can be a bit of a more functional alternate when you've got to jump off to do whatever. But it's been fun. I've been knocking out the dailies, getting the stuff I need for the umbrals, getting back into doing the more of the jobs related things in the game. I've been having a lot of fun doing that. I missed that because we were in that whole blitz to 625 that you gotta do.
Right on. As for me, it's been a good week in Aeternum. Yesterday I split my time between playing the No Man's Sky whatchamacallit expedition, the Blighted expedition, which is interesting because it's blighted, and like that's what we were deal with here in Aeternum with the Angry Earth is blighted. But I did that, and I did the rounds. We did a lot of stuff. We took Sovereign, who also just came back to the game after a break. Through a lot of dungeons and stuff for the first time. What I've noticed this week, I think, is like for me, I've got everything on my primary gear set, my secondary gear set, my tertiary gear set, and a fourth gear set to 625. Like, I'm talking multiple weapons, multiple armor sets, all at 625, and I'm still sitting on thousands of umbrals. So for me, the sort of need to personally achieve is kind of sated. I don't have stuff that I have to do. I can go play No Man's Sky or whatever and just chill. I have every gathering at 200 maximum, every crafting at 200 maximum, every refining at 200 maximum, all of the quest lines done, all of the weapons at 20, including blunderbuss, all of the everything at 625. Like, I'm just sort of chilling. But what I've noticed this week, and I'm sorry, I know that sounds like a real dick, like a fucking brag, but like, here's what I noticed this week. I kept logging into the game despite the fact that on paper I have nothing to do. And what was pulling me to log into the game was help Brittany get this done. Help Sovereign get his first clear of this. Help Datron get his gear up. Help Wolf get his, gear up. Help Controlldon get first clears on this, that, and the other. There's so many people that either came to things a little late or leveled up a little slower or are just coming back to the game. Chaos took a break and just came back to the game, and she's about to hit 60, and we were running her through stuff yesterday. We ran her through Dynasty yesterday. That was great. Sovereign took a break from the game, came back, and is loving it. Control took a break from the game, came back, and is loving it. So many people are coming back to this game. I think what you have to do, I mean, obviously that this could be anecdotal, it could be not indicative of whatever, but we're seeing the player numbers coming back up. As of the February patch did a lot, and the March patch just sort of continued that. We are seeing people come back to the game. And later I want to talk specifically to Control. I mean, we'll talk to everybody about their perceptions of how it's changed, but Control, very sharply, as someone who just came back, has like I think, Control, Sovereign, Chaos, these people have an interesting viewpoint of like, whoa, when I left, it cost way more to travel. When I left, you couldn't access all the chests. When I left, you could only upgrade your gear score by doing those loot runs. When I left, you couldn't, do this. You couldn't do that. You couldn't do this. Like, so many things that are changed. The ammo had weight, and you couldn't just have unlimited, and we didn't have this weapon, and we didn't have this new dungeon, and we didn't have this new, method of doing whatever. We didn't have this reward attached to Outpost Rush. We didn't have all of these things. And so really that's where I'm at with this week with New World. I don't have any reason to play this game. I've beaten everything there is to beat, but I find myself still playing this for hours every day, and part of the joy is seeing all of these people return to the game and being able to help them get their whatever. There's times where I'm logging in, I'm hanging out in comms, and if they have enough people to make a full team, I just leave and I stay in comms, and I'll go play No Man's Sky, or I'll go do whatever. But then when they call me up, they're like, oh shit, this one had to go, his wife needs help with whatever, or oh, this one had to go, their family's going out to dinner, we don't have enough people to make a team now. I hop back in and we do it because it's fun, like helping others get their achievements. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Hey, that's why I actually play this game. It's, of course, it's a super awesome game. It's nice, especially now when I got a new GPU and you could enjoy everything a bit better. But what I enjoyed most today, except playing with you guys, of course, but that was just helping out Suv, just clearing out some missions, and it's it's mostly about friendship and just doing things together.
Hell yeah.
I really, really like that.
And I love our team. Our shameless plug for our team, Black Sky Legion, over on North American East, Pluto server. I love that we have Swordsmith, like me, Swordsmith, Cinnamon, WOLFDRAGON, not WOLFDRAGON, Bio, that like all of us are at full 625 locked and have our sets done, and we have nothing like at this point that we need to up. We're upping side shit just for funsies. We have nothing that we need to up, and literally Swordsmith is the number one name that comes to mind because he always just fucking volunteers. But also me, Bio, and Sin, we're like, okay, we're here, we'll run whatever. Somebody shows up, hey, I want to run it, and the four of us were like, we have everything. Wolf is on the cusp of that. He's very close to getting to that point too soon. But like the four of us, we're already there, and we're like, okay, we'll sit out. You go run it. Like we don't care. We don't need the upgrade, so we're just doing it to hang out with friends. And the second somebody whatever, we're like, okay, I'll sit out. I volunteer. Take my place. Go get your loot. And it's a great play. So if you're playing New World right now, and you want to transfer over, and we're going to get to this as of next week, you'll be able to transfer over different regions, different whatever. If you want to hop on over to North American East Coast Pluto server, you too can come play with us in a position where it's not like, oh, we don't have enough people to run it. We always have enough people to run it, and you're never going to be in a position where it's like, oh, you're excluded, you're not high enough, fuck off. We're doing just the main team. Like the main team is more than happy to make room to get people in and to help people along, and I fucking love that. So, all right, let's get to the agenda of the day. So here's where we're at. It's kind of a light-ish news week. It's not a heavy news week, but there's some stuff we want to talk about. The April patch notes are out. There's just a billion fixes. We're not going to cover all of them because it would take all day. But literally, all April isn't flashy. April isn't like, oh my God, new this, new maps, new dungeons. No. That was, you got that already. You got that in February. You got that in March. April is quality of life and fixing things. So a bunch of little things that sound stupid when you say them, but goddamn, they're worthwhile. I want to hit a couple of highlights here. This is just the highlights. For every one thing I'm mentioning here, there's 100 things I'm not. Go look into the patch notes. No more tripping on flint. They've removed the collision from the little stuff so that if you're running, you know how sometimes it's just annoying as fuck. You go to run or you hit the charge button on the axe and you hit a piece of flint and your guy just stops cold and it's like, oh, what the hell? Come on, it's a piece of rock. My guy would step over it. No more. They upped the gold from Tempest Heart Drop to match properly more, like, hey, give you a little more reward for it. No more loading into half-rendered worlds when you teleport. It's gonna be fully rendered. No more broken portals with no mob. So remember when we were doing all the portal runs or whatever, and you go, and it's like, big one. This one's a guaranteed fucking gypsum. And then you get there, and it's like, there's no mobs. It's broke. We can't do anything.
There's a good half of them up in Shattered Mountain.
Shattered Mountain. Yeah, well, that's fixed. No more. Smoother weapon swapping ability queuing. They were having glitches with weapon swap when used with ability queues. It was a problem. They fixed it. They fixed some of the stutter and desyncs. They didn't, I want to be clear. This doesn't say that all of the stutters and desyncs are fixed, but some of it, making it a little bit better. This next one is a little controversial, and we're going to get to it in the discussion topic because this one I got problems with. I got issues, and we're not white knights who just blindly cheer Amazon Game Studios on everything. We love this game, but we're open and honest, and a good friend will tell you when there's an issue so that you can change your ways. So, quote, several Blackguard's weapons rolled with Plagued Heavy Strikes perk. This has been changed to Plague Crits on the Blackguard's bow and blunderbuss, and refreshing evasion on the Blackguard's fire staff, void gauntlet, and ice gauntlet. We're going to talk about that. Fix an issue that could cause the crafting screen to close unexpectedly while using it. God damn. Thank you, thank you. That one, so small, but it annoys the hell out of a crafter because you got it constantly. When entering a settlement or outpost, opening the map will automatically zoom in on the settlement or outpost map. Look, guys, I'm gonna be how to say it? I'm gonna be humble here and say that this wasn't just that they've been listening to our show, but we did mention it repeatedly for a while back. It's like, hey, this is a small quality of life that would just be way better. So, Wolf,
I think you get to toot that horn a little more when they finally put loadouts into the game.
oh, that's coming. That's a thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, but yeah, that's coming. So everybody, Wolf, Sword, control it on, take a bow. That was from us.
Yep, we did it. We did it. We did a thing.
We did it, boys. All right. When entering a settlement or oh, okay, wait. Named craft items that are crafted at epic rarity but can gain a 5th perk when upgraded to legendary now show the final perk as disabled on the crafting screen so that you know that it will be available in the future but not available when crafted. That, I think, is super awesome.
That's so nice.
I would now, to be clear, I want to clarify. That's on the crafting screen. But what I would very much like is to see that added to all of the items that have that 5th perk available in their pool, but not active because it's at 590 or 595 instead of at 600. Now, for now, this is only at crafting. I can craft it, but I can't craft it at 600. It'll show the 5th perk, but it'll show it grayed out. I would like them to migrate that to all items so that if I get a drop in Tempest, or if I get a drop in Outpost Rush, or if I get a drop in Lazarus, and it's a 596 that is a legendary name that at 600 would have that extra perk, I would love to see it there, grayed out with a line through it. Please, Amazon, please. I didn't even know I wanted this until you put it there, and then I thought, oh my God, that's fucking brilliant. Please give us this on more than just crafted. Give us this on any item that has an extra perk that is just locked away right now. That way, we don't have to go to a New World database and like look everything up. We'll just look at it and go, hey, do I want to spend umbrals on this to unlock that perk? Yes, no. That would be amazeballs. So I love it. Give us more, please.
That being said, that's not going to detract from the utility and usefulness of New World Database and other
100%.
third-party sites that have that.
100%.
What that'll do is it'll let your normal regular person who's playing the game just see that, oh, okay, this is a cool thing, but I'm not interested in it so much because of this thing. Whereas they might, if they didn't want to go look it up, just throw some umbrals at it and be like, "Aw, I should have saved those umbrals for something else."
100%. So the next issue, fix an issue that caused aptitude banners to display when entering or exiting instances such as expeditions. We've all seen this. You go into Outpost Rush, you go into, whatever, Genesis, you go into Laz, you go into Tempest, and it pops up. You got a skinning reward. You got a logging reward. You got a skinning reward. You got a refine. And it's like, oh, please, just stop. Just stop. They're stopping it. That's it. Does this break the game? Does this make it unplayable? No, not at all. But it's annoying day to day, and they're fixing it. Mwah, chef's kiss. Fix an issue that caused player achievements to load incorrectly and at the start of the game session. So we've all seen this too. You log in, or you have to log out, you log back in, and it's like, well, that's, how do I say this? It pops up this and that achievement and that achievement and this, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it, man. I get it. let's stop here because there's more. There's a big item that we're going to talk about next as the issue. But just from the things that I just covered here before we get into the whole server transfer thing, just those, A through M that I just mentioned, I want the people on the panel. Let's talk about them. What do you guys think? What are you loving? What are you not loving? What are you questioning there?
Are we talking about the perks and weapons yet?
Let's save that for the discussion topic, but everything else.
Roger.
So they put out the plan where, we're gonna do these. This is the scheduled timeline. We're gonna put in new stuff, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna bug fix, because you can plan and spreadsheet all you want as a game dev, but until you put the game into the hands of us just absolutely rabid individuals to play the game and figure out stuff, they don't know what it's going to do. So it's really awesome that they're going through the list of bug fixes that they are, and they're fixing the things that they are seemingly with no, hey, this is a thing that we like, it's off limits for a vast majority of things. So they're willing to revise the stuff that needs to be revised. When we get to the point about the thing with the Blackguard stuff, I think they're going a little far there, but again, this game is seven months old now, I think. 8 months old? I don't remember. It's not an old game yet. They've still got lots of mistakes they need to make, and they've got lots of lessons that they need to learn. And I think they're going through them in a method that makes perfect sense, that is giving good future longevity to the game, and hats off to them for it.
I dig it. Control, you just come back to the game. I just mentioned a ton of stuff on here. What do you think about all this stuff?
I haven't experienced everything yet, but I've seen a lot of nice things going on. I've got a few likes actually, and hey, please stop me if you don't want me to talk about this now. But
this is the perfect
really
place.
like the new expertise system. Ooh, that was nice because it was kind of hard before just to get your gear score up.
How do you like being able to teleport all over the place for basically free, and also like the fact that all of the Shattered Mountain quests that are 60 plus, all of the Ebon Scale quests that are 60 plus, all of the Reekwater quests that are 60 plus, now when you do those quests, you're getting gypsums as well to help you upgrade your gear score that much faster and catch up.
That is nice, because just today I've leveled up so much things. So yeah, that is kind of nice.
Beautiful.
I'm regarding the fast travel. I've actually thought about that for about an hour because I've been like playing, and I both like it, but I kind of liked it before when it was like just to fast travel. Yeah, you had to play good, and you had to do some things, and you like couldn't waste your ace off just going everywhere. So according to me, I think it's a bit too easy now.
Can I offer you a counterpoint to think about?
Yeah, sure. Do it, buddy.
You traveled around, like my good friend Cinnamon Ring, who I absolutely love. He's my brother from another mother. You guys both travel around like you used to travel around with like 100 pounds of stuff on you.
Yep.
So for you, you would teleport from one place to another, and it would be like, hey, here's 50 A's off, here's whatever.
Yep.
I am an omni crafter. I have every crafting to 200. I am an omni gatherer. I have every gathering to 200. And keep in mind that the sort of they also didn't have a system back in the day of being able to like move your stuff around from all of the different whatever. I say all of this only to explain that I always had like over 1,000 pounds of stuff on me.
Yep.
So I would be in Ebonscale, and they would say, "Hey, there's a portal group up. It's at Lover's Shrine, north of in the north part of Ebonscale." And I would say, "Okay, I'm going to teleport over there. I'm coming." And it would be like, it's 700 days off to travel there. In the same county, not even leaving the border of Ebonscale, it was 700 days off. So for people that are Omnicrafters and Omni gatherers, I think it's maybe more of a godsend than for you. You're right 100% when you say for you, it wasn't that big of a deal. I get that. But like for other people that had more weight on them, man, was it a big deal.
Yeah, no, but hey, I kind of agree with you, but I was, when I played the last 500 hours, when they released the game, and I played for quite many months every day.
You did.
You did.
And I was a helper. I just love to help other people like finalize their quests and stuff, and just, okay, you were there, I'm gonna spend some ace off and just go there. And sometimes it kind of hurt, yes. And of course, moving stuff. Yeah, we've talked about this thing earlier in a game, you and me, and yeah, it was a hassle. But according to me, I think they made it a bit too easy. Like,
okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
It could cost more than 5 or 10 ace off. Like, I think the cap was 10 ace off now, huh?
20 is the cap now.
20, yeah, but still, that's like nothing. Okay, so, but that's just my point of view.
That's an interesting thing, because basically what they did was, this game originally was more of a like hardcore survival, full loot PvP, whatever game, and they transitioned it to a like general MMO, and general MMOs are much more casual friendly, much less grindy, much more sort of accepting of the fact that it's like you have different people at different levels and you want to make it more accessible. And I think you're right. There is some negative to that. There is some, but there also is a positive to that. And it's interesting because you have to like weigh out, what is the most good for the most people, you know?
Yeah.
And it's weird because maybe I would want it more to the left and you would want it more to the right. But what they have to do is find like what is to the medium player, not the average, but the medium, like which is slightly different, but like what is the best outcome that we can have for the largest number of players. And there's always going to be, that's kind of interesting because even like you and me, we approach it differently because I'm an Omni crafter and you're not. I'm an Omni gatherer and you're not. Like, what is best for me and what is best for you will be different. And I think what Amazon Game Studios' responsibility is to find that sort of middle ground, that it's maybe a little too costly for me and a little too cheap for you, and like come in where they think is good. Now,
yeah,
I love where they've come in. Maybe they need to come in a little more expensive because I'm okay with where it is now and you're feeling like it's too cheap. I don't know, but you know, like there's that spot where it's like you can't please everybody, but you have to try to please the largest number of people to the largest extent possible or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, but hey, just maybe raise the, let's say if the maximum for fast travel was like 50 ASOF, I think you still got about 1,000, huh? If you done good.
Mm.
And 50, that's
See,
not that much.
I think maybe I kind of agree with you. I think maybe it would be good if they made the maximum around 50, but raise the maximum you could store to say 2,000. That would
Maybe,
be interesting
yeah.
because it costs a little more, but you have more available. I don't know. It's
But,
interesting.
There's one other counterpoint that kind of
Please.
steps aside this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've noticed, it's not hard to stay at 1,000 Azoth. So if you had more, okay, you would just stay at the higher one.
Mm-hmm.
If you had more Azoth on you, you could make crafting a little bit easier. You wouldn't be quite so dependent upon getting the potions to give you Azoth. You could just go play and do it, find dandy, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But with all of the fast travel shrines that we have now, I mean, you
There's
can't
more,
throw
way
a
more.
rock and not hit one at this point.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, the game was the running simulator, which, cool, it... As much of a pain in the ass as that was, it also forced you to go
That was more the survival
around
aspect.
and go look at everything and go see
oh yeah.
the island, the land of Aeternum for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I want to go out of my way and just not use those travel shrines,
Mm-hmm.
I feel I'm missing out on the pretty, and the game delivers pretty in just absolute truckloads.
Mm.
So if they were to say change it from 20 to 50 and simultaneously change the cap from 1,000 to 2,000, you would still get people hopping around and doing whatever and traveling as they please, but it would also give slightly more pause to a newer player to get out there and run around and go look at the pretty.
I actually got a question there. Did they change? I've been only playing 2 days, so yeah, bear with me. Did they change if you don't own the territory that you pay a bit more?
Yes, but so the answer to that question is yes, but with the caveat that the maximum you pay is 20. So maybe if you own the territory, you pay 8, but if you don't own the territory, you pay 16. That's double the amount, but it's still under 20.
Yeah. I don't like it, but hey, this is just me.
No, I get it. And here's the thing, like, that's a good thing. People, like, we should, as people who are all willing to, like, concede the best for the project, we should be willing to sort of accept that other people are going to have other opinions. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That's healthy. And we should sort of expect a little bit of friction between multiple players of good intent based on what their willingness is. Sovereign, for example, we've talked about him. He's a good friend. He'll be on the show probably next week. He's going to be a regular on the show going forward. He doesn't like the change to the ammo. He's like, I don't like that. I want it to be a little more weighty because it makes you think about things and makes you whatever. And I disagree with him, but I completely understand where he's coming from. And I don't in any way minimize that his point is valid. But it's just two different people. What do they prefer? I prefer chocolate. He prefers vanilla. Neither of us is right. Neither of us is wrong. It's just perception. Now, Amazon Game Studio, as a company, they have a responsibility to try to find, number one, what's true to their core of what this game is supposed to be, like their artistic vision of what this game is supposed to be. But when you're talking about an MMO, there's always the balance between your artistic vision of what you want and your responsibility to the community to give the maximum amount of players the maximum amount of what they want. And it's an interesting interplay. And we should never lose sight of the fact that it's like people so often are like, I want A, and if you don't give me A, you're wrong. But that completely ignores and diminishes the like adult mindset of I am not 100% of your community. I might want something that I might be the minority. I might be the majority. Giving the minority what they want all the time is clearly wrong. But also, oddly enough, giving the majority what they want is clearly wrong if it violates your artistic vision for what the project is supposed to be. You have to balance art with commerce. And art might be an inconvenience to people because it's like, oh, wow, it's making people experience something that's outside of their comfort zone, but it's what you want to convey. And commerce is obviously give the maximum amount of people the maximum amount of joy. And I feel like going forward, looking at this as a project, that's a very healthy thing to like look at and say, yeah, I don't like this particular decision, but I recognize the validity of the fact that I'm not the only person with an opinion here. You know what I mean? Does that?
Kai,
Yes, sir.
if I just could add a thing.
Sure.
What I really liked when I started with New World, it was a kind of hard game. And hey, you had to like chop down those trees, do that mining. You had to do your stuff, and it wasn't easy. I think some of the nerfs that they've done to like lasts and stuff was really good because it even if you were level 60, you had a good gear, you did them over and over, and you like never succeed to beat the boss. But now, yeah, I still want it to be a difficult game that you have to struggle, that you have to
stretch.
It's this thing with the ace off. It's I actually agree with the Zuv with the ammo. I'm a spear and a bow. I don't want unlimited ammo on my bow. That's just ridiculous. Hey.
So wait, just real quick to be clear, you don't have unlimited ammo at your best ammo. You have unlimited ammo of the flint ammo, which is the worst ammo. Anything over that, if you want to have iron ammo, if you want to have steel, star metal, or a calcum, all of those are available, but they just have no weight penalty now.
Yeah.
But you still have to buy them or make them.
Yes, but still. I kind of like the weight penalty.
Okay.
I would pop in here and just mention that both sets of ranged weapons are in pretty poor places and for different for certain aspects of the game, and that they are looking at reworks of both the musket and the bow.
So more specifically, they've called out they're looking at a serious amount of rework on the bow right now. Musket, I think, maybe down the line they'll look at that based on after post spear update changes. So yeah, all right. So that brings us to an interesting point with regard to perks. Refreshing Move was deemed overpowered on the blunderbuss, and as such, faction-issued blunderbusses and the Troublemaker and the Troublemaker 9000 now have Refreshing instead. And the Pirate's Piece, the T5, now has Vicious instead. I'd like to raise this now. Let's jump into this as a discussion topic. Let's just move it on over. I'm not even saying that this is wrong. I think it's absolutely right. Refreshing Move is way too strong on the blunderbuss. But my opinion, and this is simply my opinion, yours may vary, is that Amazon Game Studio has a responsibility as an MMO. If you release a thing, you have a job to test it. You have a QA team for a reason. Your job is to test your perks and make sure they're viable before you release them. Now, if you want to put it out at a certain level on the PTR and then go, oh, we tested the hell out of this and it's too strong, I'm okay with that. Changing something from the PTR or PTU, in this case, Public Test Universe or Realm, whatever the fuck it is. I keep reading those.
This is PTR.
That's okay.
Star Citizen is PTU.
Yeah, that's okay. Here's what I don't think is okay. If you release a thing into the live version of the game, so for example, I personally, Kai, I made a Troublemaker 9000. And the reason why I made it is because Refreshing Move is so good that I feel like it's the BIS. It's best in slot blunderbuss. I made it. I spent a lot of high-end resources to make a 600 level legendary blunderbuss myself. And then I spent damn near the better part of 6,000 umbrals to upgrade it from 600 to 625 because it's the best of the best. And now, after I spent all of this, Amazon nerfs it. Now, I have to wait and see on April 25th when this patch releases. Does that mean from now on crafting it gives that different perk? Or is the one that I already spent my resources to craft and spent my umbrals to upgrade, is that nerfed? If that is the case, I cannot say this more clearly. Amazon, get your shit together. You need to stop nerfing things that people already have. In an MMO, if you want to see nerd rage, keep nerfing things that people already spent their monies to upgrade. You will see a massive amount of rage. So, with all love and respect, I'm on your side. I want to be your fan, Amazon Game Studios. Figure out your balancing issues before you release something. Once you've released it, it's out there. Now, if you want to change a perk in how, like, oh, an ability, like, oh, we're going to make, okay, the Sword and Shield has the 2 trees and they have these abilities. This one's too strong, we're going to nerf it. This one's too weak, we're going to buff it. You can always do that. And when you do that, you need to continue what you've already done, which is exactly right, which is give people a respec. That's fine. But you need to stop changing perks on weapons and gear after it's released and people have spent their resources on them. If I buy a sword because it has A, B, and C ability, and after the fact, I spend umbrals to upgrade that sword, and after the fact, you decide it's too strong and nerf it, that is a very poor way to handle your community. Please do not keep falling into this trap. I know, Sword, you had comments on this that I asked you to wait until we got to this point in the conversation. Bring it, Sword, and then everybody else hop in.
So this is happening not only for the blunderbuss, but on a number of the plagued strikes, going to plague grits and refreshing evasion on a lot of the Blackguard gear.
From the Blackguard, yeah.
Coming from Tempest.
Yep.
Including something I've been using, the Blackguard's bow.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, if people weren't umbraling this stuff, I don't think it would be nearly as big of an issue.
You're right.
But
they are.
But some of these weapons, and a lot of them are bits, and I think that's part of the reason they're being nerfed. Well, it's not part of the reason, it is the reason.
I don't disagree with you.
I definitely think they need either a refund mechanic for these weapons, or have them be legacy versions that weren't touched. That's pretty much it.
I agree. Wolf? I know you had a thing on the idea of having 2 separate versions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how they could make a databasing argument of, if we have the same thing, it might cause issues down the line if it's a drop or something like that. If it's still an item in the game, then it's still in the loot table. Like, these are programming problems, and some programming problems are far more painful than others. They could definitely just keep what's there, call the new things something else so it's a different name, and then you mark the existing one as not droppable. They're bound on pickup already, I think. Or you just make them bind on pickup, and then you carry on with life. That way everybody who has it has their special thing, but nobody can get it from them. They can't give it to anybody, and nobody can get them going forward.
Can I offer a suggestion?
How many people have them?
Can I offer a suggestion?
How
about you call it the Legacy Troublemaker 9000 versus the Troublemaker 9000? The Legacy is the A, and the non-Legacy is the B.
Absolutely.
Easy.
So, Wolf, do you agree that Amazon needs to stop nerfing items that
once
people
it's in the
already
game,
have?
they need to leave it there. Like, that's a sort of a cardinal rule of, you want to make people mad, take away a toy that they already had. Like, it's not just in video games, it's in several other things in life. Like, this is a thing. They've been able to have it. You gave it to them, and now you're coming back after the fact and saying, no, you can't have that. And they take it away. That's not how you make friends. It's how you make people very upset very quickly. Don't do that.
I think people are 10 times more likely to get mad that you took away anything than they are to get mad that you just didn't give them a thing. My opinion.
Sure.
All right. So, another thing that's coming in this change, in this update, is they are making a massive buff to healers, not by changing they're not buffing their, like, okay, we're going to change the value of this up, update, whatever, update beacon, give it plus X, update whatever to give it plus Y. But instead, what they're doing is giving healers the ability to target heals instead of just off of the mouse wheel, like scroll up and down through the party group, but just give them the ability to target player 1, target player 2, target player 3, all the way up to target player 5 of the group. So that you can say, okay, player 1 is the tank, player 2 is the healer, player 3, 4, and 5 are DPS. So now you can say beacon, and then just so you click the button for beacon, and then you hit player 1, like target player 1 with beacon, target player 2 with beacon. This is a thing that's fairly standard of all MMOs and has been missing for healers in New World since launch. I think that this is absolutely a huge plus. I think that healers everywhere in New World have sort of dealt with for a while the fact that healing in New World had many sort of ball ache issues, and this was one of them. And it makes for better healers in the game. It makes it a less ball achy, more enjoyable process to be a healer in New World. This is, in my opinion, huge. And I know a lot of people, if you're not a healer, you're not thinking that this is that big a deal. You're like, oh yeah, so what? Okay, they give them a couple other auto-target buttons, so what? This is huge. Every healer out there, ask your healer friend. They'll tell you, oh no, this is huge. This is going to make my job 1,000 times easier. I cannot be more happy about this. And I'm not even a healer. What do you guys think?
I would have loved that my first 500 hours playing as a healer.
Yeah.
Wow. Like missing those heals is like win or lose sometimes, especially before when some of the bosses weren't nerfed. So yeah, please give it now.
Sword, Wolf?
Yeah, one thing I've noticed, this game burns the fuck out of healers hard.
Yes.
There's several times in the dungeons where it is you have to, no kidding, 100% be on your shit, or you, by nature of what you are the one, like in Siren, you're the one that pulls the spears away. There are times going up against certain bosses where the healer is the one who just collects the shit. The first thing that is wrong with the healing stuff is that the game wants you to be in light armor, whereas that's not really viable in lots of instances. So the healer is forced to be in heavy armor and gets kind of screwed because of that. And then they're 100% on demand, can't do this without a healer, and the healer has to be good if it's going to be X, Y, and Z. It's a huge learning cliff that you have to get up on. And once you're there, you can feel good about yourself because you're literally, God keeping everyone alive. But it chews people up and spits them out like mad. It's crazy.
You're not wrong.
Not happy. Not a good thing. Like this, I honestly at one point thought, well, I might do healer for the hell of it, and then I watched our healers that we have doing the jobs that they do. And it was like, oh, I do not have that kind of patience. And even just trying to use the life staff on myself or somebody else when we're doing a little run around thing, get things through, like trying to aim that thing, like when you're also trying to do something else, is like, it is almost beyond my capability as a player. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, people complain that the musket and the bow are clunky.
Yeah, but hey, also, if you guys fail in an expedition, it's kind of easy to blame the healer, or isn't it? So,
You're right. You're not wrong.
I kind of like the new changes.
You're not wrong. Okay.
Make it easier.
Beautiful. All right. So, having addressed that, why don't we talk about, why don't we get into the whole paid transfers thing, which was another sort of big thing. So, store update, regional transfers. With this update, we've enabled paid server transfers that can be purchased via in-game shop. This will allow players to move a character available from a world of their choice, as long as they don't already have a character on that world. We've also added functionality to allow players to server cross-region with these tokens transfer. For cross-region transfers, players can select as its desired destination region where the character will be moved to a random world within that region. This allows players to then move to the random destination world of their desired world via the standard character transfer process using the same transfer token. Transfer tokens will be locked to once a day, once every 24 hours. You must be level 25 to transfer, and you must not own any houses, etc., and it'll cost $14.99, so basically $15. I want to start with Wolf, and then go to Sword, and then go to Control. What do you think of the goods and bads of this? You start, Wolf.
So I'm worried that this is going to create a fourth faction. And what I mean by that is you're going to have people who are going to just be fucking top S-class rated in doing wars and such. So you're going to have a contingent of mercenaries. Their only thing they're going to do, and they'll probably get paid to do it to offset the cost of the token, since they can just hop around on demand wherever they're needed, is to just show up and globetrotter wipe the floor with whoever's doing whatever in a place or a given server, a given county, blah. And it is going to further just ruin wars. That's my thought on it. I know Sword had an economic point of view.
So, a couple things, and I would had mentioned, and admittedly, this is an idea that Invin brought up in his video. But we're going to see a lot of people who will collect resources in low pop servers where there's little to no competition and then bring them over. And I think it was Wolf who then expounded on that with the idea that you just go to the market board to buy up everything there as well. Meaning that we're going to have a resource drain from these low pop servers and a coin drain from the high pop servers.
So let me address both of your concerns right away, and then we'll let Controlldon hop in with his thoughts on it. So first, Wolf, with your idea of a fourth faction, i.e. there's going to be paid mercenaries that are going to be coming in and just murking fools on a server. Number one, you can still only attack people that are not on your faction. So if I'm Marauder, I can't get paid money to transfer over and attack another Marauder. Now I can transfer factions, but even then that's still like every 60 days or whatever. Like that's very limiting. I agree with you that the possibility occurs for a group of hardcore super sweaty PvPers to jump to a server and take it over. I don't think you're going to see people saying $15 a piece times, 50 players. I'm willing to spend the, what is it? 15 times 50. I'm willing to spend the $750. Now that's one way. So it's going to basically be $1,500 to pay for them to jump in and then do their thing and then jump out. I don't think you're going to see people saying I'll pay $1,500 for this. I just don't. But I do think it's more of an issue where you could have a situation where a group is failing where they're at, they pick a server, they move once with the intention of we're going to just steamroll this server. I agree with that. To Swordsmith's concern, it was me that brought that up earlier, saying that people would just hit up the market board, buy that stuff out. Here's the thing, though. I'm not necessarily sure that that's a bad thing. If we ended up, there's so many times where you see people that do videos of like, how do I say it? Like, oh, this is my guide on telling you how to level Arcana on this server, or this is my guide on telling you how to level your jewel crafting. And they talk about like, oh, well, the cost of this is $4 and the cost of this is $80. So it makes more sense to do this than that. And it's just dead wrong because like on our server, the prices don't even come close to match that. I agree with you. People are definitely going to be very mercenary and buy up the markets and go to a place that's a quiet, dead server and just farm up orichalcum like I 100% agree with you. Everything on that you said. I'm not sure that that's a bad thing. If number one, you have to pay $30 to do it, $15 to jump out, and $15 to jump back. Man, that's not a thing you do lightly. That's a thing. If it costs you $30, you're out of pocket a couple dollars. You're making a, how do I say it? You're making an investment. You're making a commitment there. And if I agree, I 100% agree. There's going to be some people that do it. And as a result, what I think you're going to end up with is a more standardization across the market, across the servers, where if orichalcum is about $30 a pop, an ingot on this server, it'll be about $30 a pop on most other servers. And now that they're doing cross-region, I think it's going to even be that it's like, look, if orichalcum is $30 an ingot on American servers, it's about $30 an ingot on European servers. I think it's going to be a thing. And while I see that will benefit some and harm others, to the collective whole community, I don't exactly see where that's necessarily a bad thing. But I'm willing to definitely hear you guys out. And if you have some reason why you think it would be a bad thing, I'd like to hear it. We'll start with Sword because this was his concern. So let's let him have the first crack at it. Sword?
Again, it feels like we're letting real world money influence in-game progression. I
don't dispute. I think it's enough real world money though that it's not a light thing. It's not something. But I kind of wish that they had changed the how often you could do it to like once a month maybe. I think it would be less of a whatever, but I think $30 to jump out and jump back. Man, I'm not looking at that lightly. Go ahead.
That's the key. You aren't. Although one thing I will mention here that I was thinking of is that one way they could work against this in both the wars and the market board shenanigans is there could be a cooldown timer. For instance, after you transfer, you are barred from wars for a week. You are barred from the market board for 48 hours.
Interesting.
That might be a way to mitigate.
I'd be okay with looking at something like that. Control, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I actually agree with the Swordsmith. I like the thing that you get barred for a while. So you can just jump around and, let's say it's $30 for a move, but somehow you charge $40 or $45 and you gain some money and you do things for someone else. I actually don't have that much else to add. I need to play the game more than the 6 hours I've done today. So be back in a week or two.
Fair enough. So, Wolf, what do you think to my response on the war idea?
So, my initial thought with being able to hop around and do things so easily, countering it with the fact that you can't change your own colors. Okay, fourth faction, not really a good name for it, but you could still have in some groups the will to move people around to just make it so that we're not only the mega company on this server, but we're the mega company across these servers. And we already saw what that's done with multiple factions of multiple colors on multiple servers. I don't want to see him put in a thing that could make that more easily bred, because that's not goodness for the game as a whole, especially in the realm of what PvP is. Now, once Realms versus Realms comes in and we're doing whatnot with that, that's probably largely not a thing. But again, like I said earlier, it's a young game. They're still learning how to do stuff. They need to make mistakes. I think that if they haven't done so already, they really need to take a look at all the different methods that this type of thing could essentially be exploited and what the ramifications of that would be. As far as the balancing of economies and whatnot goes, if it achieves the result of balancing the economy, that would be awesome, because right now some items cost way too damn much for what they are. Like the bowl of moss for making the Taxodius key. Like, it's like, what, 300 gold a pop? Ridiculous.
Okay, but I'll tell you this. I put in buy orders for it for 40 a pop, and I've been getting them, so... Yeah,
well,
that's the way
true.
the market works. Idiots and their money are soon parted, but a wise man will make his way. All right, so it's a good point you have, and it's well taken. Let's move on. I have 2 discussion topics I'd like to hit tonight before we close out the show. The first discussion topic is this. The numbers are coming back to New World. Like, literally, this is a game that hit its bottom in the February, and they made a bunch of changes in February, and it got better. March, they introduced new stuff, and it got better. April, they're doing more bug fixes and more quality of life stuff. And in May, and the transfers, and in May, coming up here very, very soon, 3v3 PvP arenas, group finder, all kinds of stuff. They have put out a roadmap that shows the new zone that's coming out, new dungeons, new events, new stuff. Like, this game is on the come up. It hit bottom and it's now coming up. I've stated all along that this was going to happen. Every MMO launches the same way these days, at least in the Western world. Every MMO starts with the hype cycle. 5 times more people than should come play the game on day 1. To which they now have 30 to 60 days clock running before they hit the hate cycle. Everybody wants to cancel the game. This sucks. There's no end game. There's no this. Despite the fact that it's like, are you new? Every MMO that has ever launched doesn't have enough end game. MMOs hit their stride somewhere between year 3 and year 5. New World, shock, is no different. People pointed to Lost Ark and said, look, Lost Ark is doing so great. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Lost Ark is a 5-year-old plus game. They have a lot of content up. And even they were subject to the same artificial hype-hate cycle. And Lost Ark is a great game, and I'm not taking anything away from it. But all MMOs launch with not enough endgame content. All MMOs then fill out, and they're in a race of survival. And survival means they do enough good work in 3 years and are able to survive that long to justify where they're at. And now they're in a, okay, we're earning, we're growing, we're strong cycle. And then it goes anywhere from 5 years of healthy MMO to as much as 20 years, as games like Eve and Final Fantasy XI have shown us. You can, if you have your business model right, if you have your development cycle right, if you provide a good and interesting and worthwhile product to the community, and if you do a good job of listening to them, you can grow an MMO and keep it going and being vital for upwards of 20 years. There's nothing to say you can't. And I feel like New World is well on its way. They have handled their challenges head on. They have admitted their weaknesses and failures. They have had open and honest communication, and they have done amazing work to continually improve their product. And their original product was not dog shit. The reason why everybody was so interested is because the graphics, The hook, the sound, the ideas, the feel, the character experience of playing New World is great. Many people left, but that's because they had an issue with this. They had an issue with that. They had an issue with dupes. They had an issue with exploits. They had an issue with there wasn't enough ways to expand or to upgrade my gear score. It costs too much to travel. It's punishing to use ranged weapons. It's too difficult to organize my inventory. And one by one, Amazon Game Studios under Scott Lane have done a masterful example, or showed a masterful example on how you fix those. Did they fuck up along the way? Absolutely. Was it embarrassing repeatedly? Absolutely. My response to that is, show me an MMO that hasn't fucked up like that. Elder Scrolls Online released as absolute dog shit, and they've done a masterful job to fix it. No Man's Sky was absolute dog shit. They've done a masterful job to fix it. Fucking Final Fantasy XIV, absolute dog shit. They've done a masterful job under Yoshida-san to fix it. Every MMO launches rough. The difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't are, do they fix it? I say Scott Lane and Amazon Game Studio, God damn it, they're doing such an amazing job to hit their problems head on, admit their failures, and fix it. And now what we're seeing is the numbers have stabilized and are starting to grow. As we talked about on this show, our community, we've seen it grow. We've seen multiple people come back to the game just in the last month. And we're going to, I think, continue to see more, because what you're seeing now is streamers are making content that isn't dunking on the game, but talking about it in a positive light. And Amazon is continuing to fix the issues so that whatever it is that hits you, whether it's the 3v3 arenas, whether it's a new zone, whether it's a new dungeon, whether it's a new weapon, whether it's a new whatever it is that hits you, when you come back to try it, you see all of the other quality of life fixes that turn this game from being a beautiful ball ache to a beautiful experience that you want to spend your time in after you're done dealing with a 10-hour ball ache day at work. Now, you log into New World and you're happy that you're here. That's all an MMO has to do, period. Space MMO, fantasy MMO, fucking 16th century pirate, 18th century industrialist, 23rd century cyberpunk. I don't care. All it has to do is provide, number one, an interesting experience of your time, and number two, make you happy that you logged in every day. Everything else is gravy. So, when we look at the New World player base, when we look at the fact that there were 1 million people concurrently online for the first fucking week of the game, like 936,000, whatever, 1 million people. That doesn't happen because you sold 1 million copies and everyone decided to take a month off work. That happens because you sold upwards of 15 to 20 million copies. And, I'm at work right now, you're at school, this one's at this one's at that. But there's enough people on at any given time that you're getting those kind of concurrent peak, whatever player counts. Not everybody plays every day. Quite often people are like, well, I can only play on Wednesdays because my only days really that I don't have to do family shit are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And Tuesday I got bowling league. And Wednesday I play video games or this, that, and the other. But the point that I'm making is they got maybe somewhere between 15 and 20 million people who bought this game, who have now paid up and can come back at any moment for free, like Controlldon did just today, and be back in, and now they're part of the New World army. They're part of the player base, and they see changes, and they're like, ooh, this is good. Ooh, this good. Ooh, that I don't like, but ooh, I like this. And not to put any words in anybody's mouth, I'll ask Controlldon directly here in a moment. All in all, on balance, they're seeing that they like that changes, and it cost him $0. And what I'm saying is next month you're going to have a whole other wave of new people that come in for 3v3 arenas and Party Finder. And, you know, the quarter after that, when they add in the summer event, and oh, here's a new zone, and here's new greatsword, the new weapon, and here's new dungeons, here's new this, here's new that, people are going to keep coming back. So when you have as much as 20 million people that can come back for free, and you put out good fixes to the game to remove the problems that made them want to leave in the first place, you make the level experiencing faster and easier, travel faster and easier, gathering and crafting faster and easier. You put out very cool events where it's like, hey, here's double XP all weekend. Enjoy. Oh, here's a free-to-play weekend. Enjoy. You pull from a massive number of people, and some of them are going to see what you've done to make it better and go, ooh, I want to stay here. And some of them never tried it before, but they're going to try it now and like what they see. So my comment or statement in this is that, like, New World is on the come up. And I've seen literally somebody in chat, wait, this game is still a thing with the smiley face. Yeah, it is still a thing, and it's growing. So come give it a try. And if you don't like it, fair enough. But maybe you will. A lot of people are every day trying it and liking it. Let me throw it to the group. Let's start with Control. On balance, you've just come back. Do you like
everyone,
what you see?
Just look at Aeternum. It is so beautiful. And yeah, just be able to play in this world with some good friends and have fun and a few laughs, and we fail and we get pissed off. Hey, that's what this thing is about, and I really, really like it. And this is one of the best games I've ever played. And yeah, I had to take a break, but I'm back, and I love it even more now. So, start playing.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, you will miss out on something. And welcome to Black Sky Legion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sword, what do you think?
We're having fun here. There have been doubters. They've gone. Some of them have come back. We'll take them all back.
All right. Wolf?
The game's definitely on the upswing. They've sorted a lot of stuff out. There's new stuff coming. And whatever comes up out of that needs to be sorted out, I actually have confidence in this dev team that they will fix whatever is broken so that it is enjoyable for anyone and everyone who wishes to play their game.
Okay. Second topic. I strongly would urge... Okay, well, second topic is going to be super, 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 super short. It's just going to be, this is a little whatever, quickie. Please, 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 Amazon Game Studios. Right now, you changed the cost of respecking your weapon to like 50 Azoth. That's fine. Please, please, please change the cost of respecking your attributes from 200 gold, right, which it is right now, $200, 200 coin, whatever, to 100 Azoth. And here's why. Because we're all swimming in Azoth, but there's a lot of players, specifically healers. Healers, when they want to do stuff that's not healing, they have to pay to respec. But more so other people. Like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. You have to pay 200 coin to respec. If, like, you're part of a raid team and they need you to be a healer or DPS or tank or whatever, and you're trying to play something else, if you have to swap back and forth every day, like let's say 3 days a week, you find yourself, I'm doing this for me, so I'm spec this way, and then, oh, my team needs me to heal, my team needs me to DPS, my team needs me to tank. Now, I'm paying 200 to swap and 200 to swap back, and 200 to swap and 200. So it's 400 gold a day. And if that happens 3 to 5 days a week, now you're talking about $2,000 that you just spent to swap back and forth and back and forth. Whereas if they make it 100 Azoth, number one, it's more consistent because they charge you Azoth to transfer your weapons already. So you might as well charge Azoth to respec your attributes. And number two, it makes it more of a resource that you gain and spend as opposed to money, which you should sort of be saving. So that's the tiniest little thing, but I'm throwing it out there real quick, going around the table. What do you guys, yes or no, you in favor? If you have some real big problem with it, state it. Control?
That sounds like a fair deal. As you said, as a healer, when I used to be a healer, it kind of sucked when you had to, mid-game switch and do something else, and it was kind of costly. So, yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Wolf?
It is far easier to generate Azoth in the game than it is to generate credits. You can take missions from places and you can get credits, okay, but nothing beats just, I've got one specific gathering tool or more that has that Azoth attunement on it. It's like, oh, I need Azoth. I'm gonna go break rocks or chop trees or whatever. I can go do that for not even an hour. Fill up my bags full of stuff. Fill up that Azoth cap. And then if I'm so inclined, I can just put those raw materials onto the board and make pennies. It's far more friendly to, hey, we need to do swaps and whatnot, to utilize a resource that we can more readily get that is honestly, I think, more meaningful than just spending gold to respec something. I mean, you're changing something about yourself that seems to be rather magical in itself. Make it use the magical currency that is the Azoth, not the gold that we need to go buy better weapons or crafting mats or things like that to get better weapons or things we want.
Okay.
That's my take.
All right. So the last topic, and this is the biggie. This is that second one I just threw in as an afterthought, but this is the biggie. Amazon Game Studios, I would please like to petition you very, very, very strongly. For the love of God, please remove the listing fees from all auction house transactions, where market board they call it, market board transactions. And here's why. I get a thing, I get a sword. The sword is worth $100. I put it on sale for $100. I pay a listing fee of $8 right up front. Then if the sword sells, they take out a tax of like 10%. So I pay $8, I put it up for $100. If it sells, they take the tax of $10, so I only get $90 if it sells. The problem with this is the listing fee is so high that it already stifles people from wanting to sell it. Because they're like, look, if I sell this, I only get $90 because of the tax. If I don't sell it, I'm out $8 up front. Fuck it, I'll just break it. I'll just salvage it. That's bad, and for multiple reasons. Now, I can see a counter argument being, well, if they don't, make a listing cost, then everybody will just put everything up for sale. So here's my response. Number one, no, they will not. Look into how this works. You're only allowed to have a maximum of 100 contracts up at any time, and that includes both buy and sale contracts. So if I'm buying, say, 20 things, if I have 20 buy contracts up, right, I can only physically possibly have 80 sales contracts up. So I won't have 10,000 things up. I just won't. I can't. That's not how it works. Number two, well, if there's no cost to selling anything, people will just try to sell everything. Again, you don't know how it works. As I already just clearly stated, you pay that 10%, 15%, whatever tax already in the sale price. I sell a thing for 100 gold. I only get 90 gold. The town takes the 10 gold as the tax. So that there already is a filter to separate money out for the transaction. And number 3, and almost as importantly as everything that I've just said, the idea of, well, if they don't put limits on it, people will just sell everything. My response is, yes, good, sell everything. If I come to a server and I see that a server has 1 page of swords up for sale, or 1 page of ore, or 1 page of, I don't know, whatever, life moth eyes. Okay? I see that what we're dealing with here is a small market. It seems fairly dead. It makes me less inclined to want to be a part of that community because, man, they don't have a lot going on here. I think that it's in Amazon's best wishes or best interests to encourage everyone to have a lot of things up for sale. Let's go around the cast real quick. I want to ask you a quick question. Just give me a number. How many things do you have for sale up right now? And I want to exclude for the moment. Let's exclude or leather or whatever. Just how many swords, how many hats, how many... We run dungeons all the time and we get all this loot. How many items, gear, weapons and gear do you have for sale right now? And I'm asking because me personally, as a player, I've got like 3. And I'm a guy who's got tons of shit. Control, how many items do you have up for sale right now?
None.
Okay. Wolf, how many items?
None. And it hasn't been a thing that I've even thought about trying to do for weeks. It's easier just to salvage everything and
I
get
agree.
something.
Okay.
Same.
Wolf, or sword rather? None? 0? So
Nothing.
So, like, that's your players aren't using the market board to buy and sell gear to each other very much. And if you could put it up at 0 cost to you as far as 0 listing fee, if it's sold, they took a chunk, no problem. That's fine. That's what they do in World of Warcraft. That's what they do in Final Fantasy. That's what they do in everywhere else. If you could put it up where if the item sold, you got charged a fee, and came out of your profits. But if the item didn't sell, you didn't get charged anything. Would you be more likely to actually engage in commerce in this way, providing a more rich sort of tapestry of trade on this server? Control?
Yeah, I think so. I think I got kind of great gear today when I did expeditions, and but I just scrapped everything because I'm just gonna waste my time putting it on the market.
Wolf?
So,
I would definitely utilize it more because then I'm putting it up and it's if anybody wants it and it's at no cost to me. I'm offering it to somebody, and if they want it, they can have it.
Sword?
I completely agree with Wolf. Most of what I put up is only going up for at most 1,000 for some of the best stuff you get. Sure, you'll find the random drops where you can pull 20 or 60k from it, but for the most part, it's 1,000, and you're paying what, a 20 credit fee on that?
Yeah. Okay.
Just for putting up. It's not worth it.
Sometimes you end up with a fee of 100, 200, 300. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that closes that out. That's my pitch. Please, 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 for the love of God, Amazon Game Studio, I love you. I am an ally. I am an evangelist of your product. Please hear me out. And if you disagree, if you're like, we hear your point, we have reasons otherwise, okay. But if you hear my point honestly made as a fan of your project, and you can't find yourself coming up with a really good reason not to change it, please, please, please consider changing that. So, closing that up, we're closing out for the night. I want to leave everybody with this question. I want to go around the panel. We are on the eve of the new patch. The patch drops tomorrow. Transfers, paid transfers, tomorrow. Cross-realm transfers, tomorrow. Sadly, the end of the bunny event that we've been working on, tomorrow. So without forgetting that bunny event, I definitely want to throw it in there. I want to go around and ask all y'all, where are you at with that bunny event? How are you feeling about tomorrow is the big patch? Tomorrow is the April update and all that brings in. Tomorrow is transfers are available and all that brings in. Let's start with Sword this time. What do you think? How are you feeling? Where are you at?
So, on the bunny event, I stopped counting at 1,000 bunnies. I still don't have the damn chest.
And the rest?
Go to Rabbit Island. I got mine at Rabbit Island after about 30 minutes of dicking around, man. Just
and
what do you think I've been doing?
And the rest?
Oof.
Sword?
And I'm looking forward to the rest. Slightly worried about the transfers, but I think we already hit that.
Okay. Wolf?
Well, like I was saying, I got the chest. I was on Rabbit Island. There'd be a couple people that run through. I mean, 2 or 3 as they went, but I would just go, kill the corrupted rabbits, pet Stanley, chill out for a little bit on top of the rock, wait for the corrupteds to come in. Just playing it super chill. And I got my chest, and it was kind of fun. I was like, oh, wow, neat. But as far as everything else that's coming, I mean, it's the same feeling I get every time that, hey, there's gonna be a patch. We're gonna change some stuff. You know, whether or not they even add new stuff, I'm excited. I want to know what the changes are. I want to play with them. I want to see how things go, and it keeps me coming back to the game to just see it evolve, and enjoy it. To roll with the punches where they're at, and to enjoy the absolute hilarity and shenanigans that I can have with everybody here in the Black Sky Legion.
All right.
And yeah, I kind of missed out on the event because I started playing again today. But I look forward so much to the new update and what changes will be, and just to experience that with you guys. That's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah. All right. For me, I will say this with regard to how I'm feeling, excitement on the eve of the patch. I'm super excited. I cannot wait. I'm interested. I'll be honest with you, it's just a bunch of bug fixes and quality of life changes. It's not so much that this particular patch is going to be the, oh my god, this whatever. I like it. I'm interested. What I'm more excited about is once this patch drops, we know, okay, we're on the eve, we're on the countdown. Next week is the May PTR. And the May PTR, Public Test Realm, is going to have the Party Finder. It's going to have the 3v3 PvP arenas. It's going to have cool other stuff that I'm super psyched to see. So I'm more hyped for that, but I'm very gratified by these, by Amazon doing a good, consistent, responsible sort of level of fixing their product and making it more desirable in general. The new flashy shit, that's great. But if you don't have the sort of basics worked out, the new crafty shit ain't worth much. So I'm psyched that they're fixing the basics. They're doing such a great job with it. And I'm psyched to see the new flashy shit as somebody who's enjoying the current product. With regard to the bunny thing, I will tell you in response to Wolf's comment of like, hey, go there for half an hour. I have, this weekend alone, spent about 9 hours on Bunny Island. I have killed more than 1,000 bunnies. I have not got the chest. Saying that, I'm not overly mad. It is what it is. I'm not, I'm a little disappointed. I feel very much like I would have liked Amazon to, I think it would have been smarter for them to start the project with, it's a 1 in a million shot to get your little chest, but then as the days go on, it keeps upping and upping and upping, so that in the end, everybody kind of feels like, well, I got mine. Like, make it to where towards the end, hey man, if you put in an hour, you'll get it. I am on Bunny Island right now as we speak, shooting bunnies. I have spent hours at Bunny Island today. I spent about 7 hours yesterday. I put on Smallville, the old TV show, the Superman TV show where he's like Superman as a teenager kid, whatever. I put on that and I was just watching, a bad Superman show from whatever, 90s or whatever that was, whenever that was, while I was just killing bunnies. Not getting it. I think that some people will unfortunately be bitter by this. They will say, you put out an event, I tried hard, I did not succeed, now I'm angry. And that's unfortunate. Me personally, I'm not going to be bitter about it. I'm like, whatever, I didn't get the thing. Brittany got the thing. I was here with her for a couple hours the other day, and she got the thing, and God bless her. I know Wolf got his. I know Drop and Loads got his. I know there was somebody, I think Souverine, I think there was somebody else that even got theirs. And God bless all of those people. Like, that's great. I'm not going to cry myself to sleep that I didn't get it. But I'm going to put in another couple hours today here running around. And if I don't get it, the thing that's going to bum me out the most isn't really so much for me. I'll live without it. Hopefully I'll get it next year. The thing that's going to bum me out is there are going to be some people that point at this and go, see, New World, ultimate grind fest, and they never come through. You wasting your time, whatever. That's going to bum me out. How do you guys feel about that concept? Not even taking yourself out of the equation as a grown-ass man who can learn to live with not everybody gets the trophy every time. How do you feel about the fact that there are going to be some people out there that actually point at this as a negative? Like, New World put in time and effort and money to do a thing, and there's going to be some members of the community that actually go away feeling less good about the game than had they not put in this time and effort.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Fair. That's absolutely fair. I get that, and I love you for saying it.
That is absolutely fair, and I'll go to the extreme other side of the spectrum just to give the well-rounded answer. Oof. Come on, you've done so much to bring the fun into this game and make the fun easier to have and better to have, and this is a miss, and you're inviting frustration and bad press, and that's never a good thing.
Sword?
Completely agree. I think there were definitely ways that they could have handled this. For instance, just like in the Christmas event, where if you didn't use the rabbit's feet as a currency to finally get the chest, if you were just having a devil of a time picking it up. But at the same time, I'm not too disappointed. I just do think it's a miss.
I mean, it's a hit for some. If you got it, man, you're feeling great. If you didn't, whatever. All right. We love you all. The count of 3, say goodnight to the beautiful people, and then we're closing this shit out because I got to get back to killing bunnies, and we've got beers to drink and shit to talk off air. If you want to come join us, come to the Black Sky Discord, Black Sky Legion Discord. A link will be in the show notes for it, and we'll post a link in the Wolf. Do me a favor, post a link in the live chat. We will be in the New World channel, hanging out and talking shit. Come and join us. We'd love to see you. Until then, see you next week when we're playing the new patch of New World. Later.